Hello and welcome to Wingin It. And once more we are back here for another game from Major League Wingspan. We're still in this regular season. We are here in game number 27, so we played a few more games off camera. And yeah, we've got another game coming up here with post-game commentary. So 20 wins already under our belt. We are in the wildcard spots at the moment. But in these remaining 4 games, we can get a few more wins. We will get ourselves that divisional title, which is what we want to assure ourselves of a spot in the next round. So yeah, we are coming into this game going second. Unfortunately, you can already see Yellowhammer in the tray, so no, my opponent going first is going to be able to pick that up. Let's hope when we have a look at our starting hands that we can match that, and indeed we can, because we've got Moltodi in the hand, which is always a sight I like to see. So yeah, no real hesitation there, grabbing that straight away. And to be honest, I think we've got some pretty good support material here as well. Violet Green Swallow, excellent bird. That tuck and draw power, always strong, no matter what habitat it's going in. So definitely going to be looking to play that. And potentially this red-bellied woodpecker as well. I mean, get something going in the forest, get a bit more food. Definitely what you want when you're going with these teal powers. So that could be an interesting one that I look at going with. Probably the weakness of this hand is the real lack of card access. So that's maybe where this swallow comes in. Maybe I'm thinking, could I play this in the wetlands, do a bit of digging, use the tuck and draw power? My opponent keeping 4 birds, so they've definitely got a good start to go with that Yellowhammer. So I'm going to need to be pushing really hard here with this starting hand to try and make sure that I can keep up, because I know they are going to be able to get off to a flyer here. So do have a good bonus card as well, Ethologist. That's a nice one, especially when you've got teal power in the hand. So maybe something we can do in the grasslands there with a few more different power colours. And yeah, definitely scored a few points from that. But yeah, definitely trying to just work out this early game here with this starting hand. So you see we're keeping a fish, and I've definitely got my eye on that white-faced heron in the tray. And what I'm kind of thinking here is, okay, my opponent, they have kept 4 birds here. They are not going to be drawing more than the Yellowhammer. I think they need food here more than the cards, and I would assume they've got some good card access to go with that. So yeah, they have indeed, of course, picked up the Yellowhammer on their first turn, left the heron. So definitely something I'm going to look at picking up. Equally, that Australasian Shoveler can be a good one. Downside, of course, is you are giving away cards to the other player. And when I know they've got a teal power in the Yellowhammer, that can definitely be dangerous. So we are going to take food here. Swallow in the forest. I think that's where I prefer it to be in these Oceania games. Get something going in the forest, get a bit more food, just with that first bird down, but also, of course, that tucking power, scoring points, getting the card cycle. And it's allowed me a good tempo move here, being able to get the food for the heron and pick it up in the same turn. So I can definitely look at getting that down. Drawing cards and seeing what that power can do, because it is potentially one that can get a bit of food and maybe, use that to be playing a bird. So heron down in the wetlands. You see opponent, they did have a pretty good forest brown power to start, like great crested flycatcher, getting worms from the bird feeder. Definitely what you want early game. Get a bit more food going. You'll see they're very aggressively taking food here. The worms are coming up in the feeder, so that's what they want to see. And I'm sure they'll be using that to play more birds. So we are indeed going to draw, and we get some interesting options here. Fish crow definitely can be a nice one here. Of course, eats the fish that we have then now gained with this white-faced heron. So there could be a little bit of a combo we do there, just using that food that we get through this brown power. So you can choose the cash. We've chosen to keep here, I think, in this early game. The food is so much more important than the cashed point. So I want to be keeping the food. And yeah, using that to my advantage. I mean, worst case scenario, I throw it and I get another egg. And that egg could definitely be handy for playing more birds. And maybe with this end of round goal as well, something we look at. So yeah, not a bad find. There goes the Yellowhammer. So no messing about for my opponent. They've still got plenty more food. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some more birds go down. For now, though, we are going to take food, and I was definitely hoping for some nectar here. I need something to be playing this Moltoni, of course. Potentially, to get that down this round. It needs the berry, it needs a nectar, really. So, a bit of a shame that didn't come up, but we got another go, potentially here to go and take food, get the Moltoni down, still have a turn to lay eggs. So then think carefully about what we're going to play. Is it going to be this fish crow? Probably the one I'm looking at here. Above anything else. We do have the hawfinch in the tray. That could be a good option, but again, quite tricky to feed that. I've not got any seeds, and I'm not really finding much nectar, so this might just be a case of being able to play what I can here in terms of the birds I'm able to find. And something like this white pelican, easy tuck for the cycle there. So playing Abiaths, already getting a pink power down, that is dangerous, and that definitely makes me think a little bit more carefully about this fish crow and whether that is going to be a good option to go with. See, I'm still looking at this hawfinch, but it would be a very, very expensive one to get down. Very fortunately, though, we do find another option here that we could potentially be using our fish on, and that is this common goldeneye. So another teal power. I think generally in these kind of games where you go for teal powers, the more of them you can get, they stack really well. So something like this goldeneye, getting extra eggs at the round end based on the number of cavity nests we've got, and we do already have one in the swallow, so that is definitely be a nice option for us. But yeah, for now we just get our teal power down, and we're just matching our opponent here. We're getting things set up, getting the brown powers down, but getting the teal power down as well. So we're going like for like, and really facing out well, I think, in this early game. I'd say they've probably got the better food access through, of course, that flycatcher power, but I think with our card cycling and with this white-faced heron, hopefully we can get a bit of food down in the wetlands as well. So shaping up well, and like I say, being able to get something like this common goldeneye down potentially in this round, also a very, very nice option. So we are going to lay eggs here. It is going to give away an egg to my opponent, of course, with the Abiath. So that's something we've got to watch out for. And that is something potentially, I think, where this goldeneye comes into play, where it just saves us turn laying eggs. We're not going to be giving away quite so many. And yeah, maybe help us get some more birds down. So we are indeed going to play that this round. We're going to get it down in the forest, hoping to just really push that out, get a bit more food access going. Maybe some of these cards I'm drawing, maybe I can discard those and get a bit more food going. Also, potentially for this ethologist, you know, now we've already got in that forest now brown power and a teal power. So definitely a nice option. And there we go. We get the egg through. Very, very nice. So over to my opponent. Likewise, they've got their yellow hammer. They did lay eggs a few times, so they've gone for this end of round goal. Definitely a strong position for them to be in. And yeah, still, of course, got that one nectar left over. We will wait and see what is going to go down for them. But there we go. 4 points on the end of round goal. So pretty nice opening for them. It comes into this second round. So they play Goldfinch. So not a super strong power, but it is something to get down early on with a bit of food, not much of it, and of course allowing them to win that end of round goal was very, very nice. So yeah, we're coming to this round two, and a pretty nice tray, I think, there. Pakiko, definitely a good one. Again, if we're trying to avoid laying eggs, trying to get eggs elsewhere, then that is a good option to get down in the wetlands. Draw some cards, get an egg there, and then, of course, with this heron, still working, still reliably, getting another fish there. So again, we're going to choose to keep that at this stage of the game because we are just thinking carefully about where we're going to get our food from. And something like Pakiko can eat that fish. It's expensive food costs. So yeah, we've got to try and make sure we're getting the food to be able to support that. So over to the swallow, we are tucking and drawing. And this nightingale, this was one where I was kind of thinking maybe we could look at keeping that. Maybe that could be an option. You know, get that down in the grasslands, maybe give out a bit of food. But again, when you're up against the yellowhammer, even if the food is helpful for me, it will be helpful for them as well. So got to think a little bit more carefully. Did look at that hooded warbler as well. I was kind of thinking, you know, 7-point berth for just 2 food, not bad of an option. Maybe something my opponent looks at if they've got lots of worms. Maybe it helps the ethologist as well. But we steered clear of it, and we ended up finding common swift, which again is definitely an interesting one here for me to look at. So it's another teal power, you know, more teal powers stacking up well. It's another cavity nest as well. So with the common goldeneye, even if I'm just going to play that, it's going to be getting an extra egg each round. So something to think about. But we've also got this filled columns end of round to contend with. So if I'm trying to think here, you know, try and play another grassland bird, try and get another column filled. That's definitely on my mind. And yeah, 5 points for just that one food. And as I say, helping out with a few more eggs off the goldeneye. Definitely an option for me to consider. Definitely something to look at. So we'll think about it. But I think with this Pakiko down, that's definitely the priority. I want to be drawing cards. I've not got that many cards. You know, just the 2 in my hand. If I want to be using the swallow, if I want to be, as I say, maybe discarding those cards in the forest, get more food going. I want to be drawing those, and I want to be seeing those cards. And yeah, with a decent little wetlands going here, you know, we're potentially getting a couple of points here when we are drawing. So that is going to be good for us. So we are indeed going to go back to drawing. And Cerulean Warbler is a good find, so probably better than that hooded warbler that I was looking at before. I think whenever you go with the teal powers, try and get bonus card birds where you can, because more birds down on your boards, the more chances you have of finding those really good bonus cards and scoring lots of points from those. So that will be yeah, something we definitely take into consideration. But again, white-faced heron, this is just ticking along, just going along nicely, you know, getting that fish each time. Definitely very much needed in this position. Whereas I say, we don't quite have all of the food access we want. So definitely looking at the feeder here with this nectar and thinking, right, this might be the time to go and take food. If I'm, you know, maybe going to use this common swift, maybe some of these extra worms could come into play as well. I think probably in this early game though, like the heron, I want to be keeping that food. I don't want to be turning it into caches or tucks. I want it in my supply. Just help with a little bit of tempo for maybe getting some more birds down. So definitely an option for me to think about. And a little bit of mind games as well with this bird feeder. So I think ordinarily I'd go and take the dual face of the dice there, but then that gives my opponent a reroll and maybe gives them more nectar. So strategically take just the worm, leave them with a little bit more of an awkward feeder position where they've got a reroll. Maybe not get quite so much nectar. So now we are definitely looking at this hooded warbler, and again, it's sort of maybe half a deny, it's half an eye on getting it down later. We do indeed pick it up this time. So I think that was a good pickup. I think something that my opponent would definitely have benefited from. So happy to have that in my hand. And yeah, we've got options. We've got options with these warblers. Still got this fish crow, which could potentially come into play. But again, if it's costing me eggs, and if it's maybe enticing me into going into that grasslands and laying eggs a few times, it's maybe not the best idea. Because we are, as I say, going to be giving away on that pink power with the other set that my opponent's got, giving away an egg each time, and I really want to be avoiding that. So, of course, with the Maltini, you have to lay eggs each round. I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum. I'm going to hope to only lay eggs once each round, and rely on the Gold Knight and the Pakiko to really supplement with the additional eggs there. So, opponent went and drew cards and revealed some nice options here. So, Spotted Owl and Housefinch. Both very, very interesting birds. Again, bonus card birds. Spotted Owl, definitely want to be going for that. But the Housefinch with the tuck and draw power, I think that could be strong for my opponent here, but I think it's something that could be really strong for me as well. Get that down in this forest. Really, as I say, just push this out another spot. Get a bit more food going, but also get the additional tucking point and just the card cycle, because, again, if we can cycle those cards that we're drawing that aren't so good, turn them into good ones, that's definitely going to help, and that's definitely going to be something to consider. So do have a spare turn here. Of course, we've got 2 turns left. One of them's going to be laying eggs, and then we can use the Maltini power to place something in the grasslands. Probably at the moment thinking about that common swift, and that gives us, as I say, the spare turn, which means we can go and draw cards or take food, and we've chosen to take food. So I think, yeah, just thinking about what do I need more of at the moment, cards or food. I think it probably is food if I'm going to be playing stuff like the Housefinch going into round 2. Does cost me, unfortunately, one of those 2 cards. So looking back, maybe I could have drawn cards, maybe I could have picked up them both. I think I'm just looking at my forest here and thinking there's not that many more spaces to fill. You know, if I was going to go Housefinch there and then the Warbler and the Owl, that's already all the spots filled, so wouldn't leave space for anything else. And yeah, I think if I didn't have the Cerulean Warbler, I might have gone and drawn and picked them both up. But as I say, I think at the moment, food is probably more important, just to be able to get that additional tempo gain, get more birds down, and get them down more quickly in this game. Because again, with the brown powers, you want to play them as soon as you can and get the most benefit out of them. So opponent is also going for food, so they are leaving the Owl, so didn't have to take it for a denial, which is always nice. And yeah, we are both matching up well here because we're both coming into this last turn and we both have to lay eggs in order to use our teal power. So I'm just thinking a little bit about where these eggs are going to go. I'm just looking ahead, maybe a little bit too far, but that last set of round goal, birds with no eggs, kind of a tricky one to work with. So I want to try and make sure I'm, yeah, condensing my eggs on as few birds as possible, but also thinking about this Pakiko and where those eggs are going to go. Of course, you can only lay on adjacent birds, so to the left, to the right, or above. In this case, only have that heron as an option, but yeah, once we get some more birds down, notably the common swift, which is going to go down here with this Maltoni's Warbler, then that is just going to give us another option. So yeah, opponent laid eggs, no surprise, but we are going to match up well here on end of round goal 2. So we're going to tie with the fill columns, common swift, 5-point bird down, and guess another egg off this gold knight. So as I say, that is potentially going to be key throughout the rest of this game, just getting those eggs, because we are going to need them in order to play more birds. So a bit of a decision here on this common swift. As I said, got 3 worms, could use it here, this power, discard those worms, get some tucks. I'm kind of thinking how likely is it that I'm going to be maxing out this Swift every round? You know, if I've got rid of the 3 worms here, am I really going to do 5 in each of the next 2 rounds? I think with my food access, it's really, really unlikely. So I'm fine skipping here. And it's probably better, I think, later in the game, in round 3, in round 4, when I have a bit more certainty with the birds in my hand and my plan for the rest of the game. Then I can decide whether or not to spend the worm. So as I said, do tie the end of round goal. And great Crested Green going down for my opponent. So they are finally getting a bit more card access there. They're really building up this Wetlands. Great Crested Green is a good option. It's probably just about still time to make use of that. And similarly for the House Finch for me, probably still just about time to get enough usage out of that. So they are immediately going and drawing cards and getting some interesting options coming up in the tray. So North Island Brown Kiwi, again, these bonus card birds. This is what you want to be going for when you are going with the teal power. So potentially, yeah, something they'd go and look at picking up. But otherwise, I think, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Pick that up, go and play it later. And you know, you want to synergize that with some other bonus card birds. So play some other bonus card birds, see what bonus cards you've got, then you know if you're going to be in a position to discard that or not. So yeah, over to our turn, we are going to take these 2 Nectars while they are there in the tray. And we've got our eye on this Western Tanager, so potentially a bit of a strange one here. But I'm just thinking about my own food access. You know, what's the habitat I'm going to use the most here? I think it probably is the forest. It's not a bad option, 6 points. Yeah, I've already got plenty of the food to play it. And it potentially has some synergy with the Common Swift as well. Maybe we get some more worms in that end game, and maybe taking food is going to be a 3 or 4 point turn. You know, just from the brown powers, and then additionally from some of the worms we can get. So that just gives us another option there. Again, just pushing this forest out another spot, get another food, and then use the brown powers as well. So definitely something I'm looking at here. But I think I want to be, yeah, getting these brown powers down, getting this forest built out. And maybe food cost to play birds. You know, this is potentially going to be a challenging one, I think, between, you know, 2 teal powers against each other. Definitely a strong end of round goal to go for food cost to play birds. We are going to need to compete hard on the food access if we are going to push for that. And of course, playing a 3 food cost bird in the Tanager always helps. So onto our turn now, and you'll see opponent is still digging. They are drawing quite aggressively. We are going to do the same here. So I've got 3 birds in hand, but I think they're all birds I'd look at playing. So I want to be giving myself some more options here. And we are getting some pretty good options here. A couple of cavity nests, so definitely kind of thing I'm looking for when I'm going for this golden eye. Get more eggs, if at all possible. And yeah, really try and max this out. You know, I'm only getting 2 eggs at the moment in this round with the 2 cavity nests. So if I can try and get a couple more down, get 4 eggs this round, get 4 eggs next round, that is really going to help out. Because of course, as you go into this late game, when you're playing these birds in columns of 4 or 5, you need 2 eggs each time. So that can get quite difficult, I think, especially here when, as I say, you don't have great egg access in the grasslands, and I don't really want to be laying eggs with the pink power. As I said, really do want to be avoiding that where possible. So yeah, got some good options in the hand, and just got to work out if there's enough time really to get everything down. And as I say, with this end of round goal, food cost to play birds, got to think about that. With these brown powers, got to play them as soon as you can, and time is running out here. You know, this is after this turn playing the Tanager, only got 8 turns left, so maybe something like this House Finch, maybe it's not going to be a good play anymore. You know, how many turns am I really going to be taking food here? Maybe it's better to play a bonus card bird, maybe it's better to get the extra cavity nest down. So we've got some options, we've got some things to think about, but yeah, 3 turns left in this round. Really got to plan out, really got to work out what I'm going to do with them. No one of them's got to be laying eggs to use the Maltese Warbler power. But otherwise, I think we're going to be trying to play birds, get food in order to play those birds. But opponent going back and drawing again, so clearly some stuff's coming up they like. They're really going hard on drawing these cards, so I'm sure we'll see those used up later, turned into either some more eggs or some more food. And yeah, that is where that early card access that we were able to get and just draw quite a lot, having the Pakiko down and the Heron, finding some of these birds, definitely nice. So we're going to play Cerulean Warbler here. We're going to get another bonus card, and it is Bird Counter, so not a bad option. And definitely makes me look at something like this Welcome Swallow as an option now. Was already sort of half considering it just with the Star Nest. You know, maybe a bit of egg space if I'm looking at that last end of round goal. But also eating worms. That's what we're getting loads of here through this Tanager. So that definitely gives me something to think about. And the bonus cards, they're working out for us here. They're working out for us here at the moment. 6 points off Ethologist, already 4 off Bird Counter, and potentially more yet to come. So we are going to take food here. And yeah, loads of worms coming up. Loads of worms. So this is kind of good for us, even on the reroll. Tanager doing its job. So that definitely supports potentially going for the Welcome Swallow play in the Grasslands. We could, of course, look at going to double play and get 2 Cavity Nesting Birds down. So that's a nice one. Snowy Owl likewise. Again, there's a bonus card bird in the tray. I'm going to go and look at picking it up. And we've already had some good draws, so we can hopefully continue that here. And yeah, we're looking good on this end of round goal. Looking good. Opponent's got 1 turn left. They have got a lot of cards and a lot of food in their supply, so that might be something they can push for. But yeah, if we are double playing, that's 4 food costs down just through the Molteni power. So definitely will be good option to look at. And they have only got 4 food in their supply as well, so there's only so much they can do to try and push on the end of round goal, but we will see what they can do here. So we are going to lay eggs, and we're looking at discarding a bit of food here just to help us out here, just to maybe support, as I say, in that last round, playing more birds. And I'm kind of looking at this fish and thinking, I've got nothing that can eat that, so I may as well throw it away, get that extra egg, and yeah, just really help, as I say, going into this last round. So eggs are down. They are going to, of course, get a free one, my opponent. So yeah, eggs is not the action I want to take. I want to be playing birds. But luckily, by laying eggs, I can do just that with Moltoni's Warbler. So let's go and do this double play. Bluebird into Welcome Swallow. Very, very nice play in total here. Getting those tucks on the Swallow, of course, helping Bird Counter as well. But most importantly, getting the Golden Eye eggs. That is the key here for me. 84 points, very, very nice. And yeah, 4 eggs. 4 eggs through the Golden Eye. We know we're going to get 4 eggs next round as well. So just need to play some birds, clear those eggs out. We'll be getting them all over again. So that's definitely key for us. But this board is coming together. This board's coming together, and I'm thinking into this last round. We're in a good spot. You know, it's always good coming into this last round with Molteni where you've got birds you want to play. Snowy Owl going to be big points, hopefully, on a bonus card as well. Prostitute Warbler, we know how many points that can get us. So we've already got a couple of plays. Don't have to go digging. Don't have to, you know, rely on good fortune to find these good birds because I've already got them sat in my hand. So if we do find something better, of course, we can always change our mind. But we are pretty well set up. So win the end of round goal. And talking of better options, Kakapo is there, ready and waiting in the tray. And that is exactly the kind of bird I'm looking for. Again, don't need to say it again, but more bonus cards is good for us here. And of course, the Ethologist, another couple of points there with the yellow power going in the forest. So definitely, yeah, what I wanted to see. And just gives me another nice option of birds to play. So you're going to draw cards at some point, but I'm just trying to work out here, is it better to maybe take food, maybe while the Nectar's there, I can go and get a re-roll, of course pick up the Kakapo with the Violet Green Swallow power, or do I just go and draw cards here and then maybe use the extra card? I can discard that and maybe get an extra food there. So there's kind of little things, I think there's always these little things to think about in the final rounds of a Molteni game, because you want to use all of your resources as efficiently as possible. You want to do your turns in the right order, make sure that you're getting as much benefit as you possibly can each time. So you see I'm sort of going back and forth here. I'm thinking, what's the pros of going for food, going for cards first? I was hoping for more Nectar there, so it didn't quite work out the way I had planned. But yeah, we do still get lots of food. We get lots of worms, so again, as I say, there is maybe something to think about here with the Common Swift. Some of those extra worms being worth points at the end of the game. But yeah, we got the food for the Kakapo. That was the main thing, so I can look to get that down for sure. And yeah, I'm away. I'm good to go. So a couple of bonus card gambles late in the game. But I think otherwise, we're pretty set in terms of the points we're getting here. We know, of course, Kakapo, as I say, with the Ethologist is going to help out. And yeah, this Snowy Owl, getting the egg as well is a nice option on that bonus card. But potentially as well, if someone comes up in the tray, maybe I want to snipe that. That is going to be good for me. So opponent drawing cards, no surprises they went for that Boblick. I think that's a great bird for them. All of these ground nests they've already got down. So yeah, felt like a no-brainer. Doesn't quite work with the birds with no eggs end of round goal, but that is where something like the goldfinch they've got with that yellow power, you just play that at the end of the game after the end of round goal scored, and then you obviously score the points for the end of round goal, and then you can get all your eggs and not mess it up. So nice little synergy there for them. And yeah, lots and lots of cards in hand, so they've definitely got options, definitely more than me, but I'm happy with the 2 birds I've got in my hand. But we do have to draw cards nonetheless, so again, I'm just trying to work out, like, timing-wise, when's the best time to do that? You know, do I want to maybe just play this Kakapo now? Do I maybe want to draw cards first to see if something even better comes up? You know, maybe there's like a Benelli's Eagle or something can appear. Maybe I find Atlantic Puffin and I need to change plans a little bit. So I do decide here to go and draw cards. Belzeria comes up, so again, another bonus card play, another nice option with some of these worms perhaps will give us something to think about and something to consider. And we are going to discard an egg here just to see another card. So potentially that is going to turn into a food or an egg later again. But it's just about clearing this golden eye space that we can. Yeah, make sure we're getting those eggs back at the teal phase. And gotta say, this heron, this has been such a good bird for me this game. Definitely outperformed what I would have expected. And three fish coming up late in the game here. Very, very welcome indeed. And I chose to cash them all. I think this is the point where I don't need those fish anymore. As I say, if I had found Atlantic Puffin, maybe that little bit of extra food would have been handy. But I think at this point in the game, I want that food turning into points. And yeah, potentially some extra worms, which we are getting on this reroll, could also be turning into points. So yeah, with all these extra cards we can start throwing here, no problem. I say turn that maybe into another worm, which does come up on the reroll. So we're looking pretty good. I think we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty set here in how we're going to play this end game. So of course, Bright Green Swallow still got this tugging power, so there is every chance that something good is going to come our way. White-bellied Sea Eagle is going to be a tempter, but I think otherwise, yeah, we know we've got to get the Kakapo down, we know we've got to lay eggs, and yeah, those are going to be our final 2 turns of the round, and then we've just got to decide of the rest of these birds what is going to go down. So I say Snowy Owl, definitely a tempter, definitely looking at the bonus cards and thinking, you know, how many more good ones are there out there? What could I find that could potentially score lots of points here? Always a bit uncertain. But as I say, more birds you get down with something like Moltoni, the more chances you have of finding a good bonus card. So definitely feels like could be a safe gamble, as much as a safe gamble ever exists in this game. Of course, we do still have Belzeria as well. That could be an option, but I've got these worms. I probably want to use them on the Swift and score points there, and especially with the rats in my supply, I think those are so good for something like the Snowy Owl or maybe the Sea Eagle as well. So yeah, opponent going for the bonus card play as well here. You see they've already got Savannah Sparrow and Sprague's Pipit into play, and we're seeing North Island Brown Kiwi come in. So that was one that came up much earlier in the game. But yeah, this is probably the sort of time of the game where you want to be getting those Kiwi plays out, because you probably have a good sense of which bonus cards you're scoring from, which ones you're not, which ones you can look at discarding, and yeah, use that power to draw extra bonus cards and see what you get. You know, it's a gamble. I think we're both gambling here, and this feels like it could be a close game. We've both got a lot of birds down, both got some good ones, both got some tucks and some caches, so feels very even split across the end of round goals and the nectars as well. So could well come down to just 1 or 2 bonus card plays at the end of the game here. So often, I think, in Wingspan, what you can and can't find off a bonus card bird can make a huge difference here. So there goes the Kiwi for them. Not too much thinking for us. We do very abruptly ditch the Belzeria, so it would have been a nice one to play, as I say, if I got that. Maybe a little bit earlier, again, with the Star Nest, could have been good with the Golden Eye, but yeah, I don't think it's quite going to work out for us here. And we've still got this decision, between the Snowy Owl and the Sea Eagle. A couple of different options there for us. I think I'm leaning towards the Snowy Owl here. I'm sort of thinking here, it's only 2 points less, of course, once you account for the egg that you get back. And I feel like I've got a good chance of scoring at least 2 points off a bonus card. So yeah, between that and the Kakapo, we are going to be seeing some bonus cards in. We are going to be hopefully finding something good that is going to work out well for us here. So it looks like opponent's taking food, and plenty of nectar's coming up, so don't know how much of that they'll be able to grab. But again, it's something to think about here. Late in the game, especially when you've got teal powers at play, and you don't quite know, how many birds your opponent's going to play, what habitats they're going to go in, how much nectar's going to be spent. All of these little things, they can make a difference in the end game. Of course, the nectar swinging from a win to a loss is 6 points, so that is more than enough to decide many, many games of Wingspan. So yeah, just something to try and pay attention to, something you've got to be ready to react to. But definitely seeing all of that nectar coming up. Not quite what I wanted to see, because I know, of course, with the yellow hammer, they're going to be getting a bird down. But this goldfinch as well, so that's something to consider. And you can't spend nectar at the game end phase, so that might be something playing on our mind. Maybe they're looking for seeds to play that bobolink, and those are not coming up. So we will see what they've got planned. But yeah, 3 nectar in their supply, so I'm trying to rack my brains and I'm trying to remember what birds they picked up and which habitats they're going to go in, because I've got to work out where my nectar is best spent. Do I spend it both on the kakapo? Do I spend 1 on the kakapo, 1 on the snowy owl, try and get it in the wetlands to get a tie there? In the end, we do spend both on the kakapo, getting that down, as I say, in the forest here, and clearing off these golden eye eggs. So definitely a nice play. A couple of points off the ethologist, and yeah, we do now tie at the forest nectar, 5 nectar apiece. So we'll see what they're going to play, where it's going to go. Very, very hard to work out when your opponent's drawn so much and so much from the deck as well. Could be absolutely anything going down with the yellow hammer. But of course, I got a legs first, so kind of an interesting game where neither player had that good of a grasslands. We both, kind of stayed away from the brown powers in the grasslands. Both just played teals and the yellows and the white powers in that grassland. And I think we basically just relied on only laying eggs once each round. Of course, my opponent had the pink power to help them, but we have got these other teal powers and the Pakiko helping us out as well. So onto the teals. It is time for the snowy owl. We're going to play that in the wetlands here and see what we get on the bonus card gamble. And it's a very nice one. Food War Expert for 6 points. Definitely what I had in mind. So Bell's Vireo, not to be, but we still get Food War Expert for 6. And we get that extra egg. So was kind of a consideration with this end of round goal as well, but I think my opponent was always comfortably winning that one. We would have had to maybe get a double play or something, but getting 4 eggs back on the Gold Knight and 5 tucks on the Common Swift, we had a big teal activation there. Lots of points from the Warbler play and the Gold Knight and the Swift, so very, very nice. And we still have that Kakapo bonus card to come, but first of all, of course, we've got to wait and see what is going down with the Yellowhammer. It is a black skimmer, so not a super strong play, but did, of course, win in that end of round goal and win the Wetlands Nectar, so they've outperformed me there. Can we match it on a Kakapo bonus card? Well, we get 5 points, so I will take that. I think from a Kakapo, when you're looking at 4 bonus cards, you maybe expect a bit better, but between the Kakapo and the Snowy Owl, I feel like they've probably evened each other out there. So 11 points between the two, that feels about fair. And yeah, definitely some good pickups for us at the end. And we will see indeed, there we go, Bobolink goes down, so huge play, lots of ground nests, lots of eggs coming through. And yeah, we come into the Nectars, where, as I said, was a bit of a struggle. I think my opponent really had the better food access early, got lots of Nectar on those rerolls, which helped, and won 2 of the 3 habitats, so strong performance for them. Let's see how it translates into this final score. So I feel like this could be a pretty close game. We both definitely got lots of birds down, got some bonus cards as well. So opponents with the early lead, but our bonus cards are strong. Can they bring it close? They can indeed, but as I said, end of round goals, bit of a mixed bag. Opponent edges it slightly. Eggs, thanks to that Bobolink, they had plenty, but it's quite close all in all. Tuck cards, we are strong with the Violet Green Swallow, so we pull into the leads. Can we hold on to it with the Nectar scores? We can just about. It is a pretty close result there. Pretty close win. 125. The final score up against 120. So, yeah, definitely an interesting game. Teal versus Teal always makes for a fun game for each player. So I definitely feel like we both will have enjoyed what we were doing there. And yeah, close game. Could have gone either way, I feel like this one. Some of those Nectar swings at the end, some of those bonus card gambles, those can make the difference. And yeah, Kakapo definitely delivered. If it had blanked, we would have been in trouble there. But we'll take a look at my opponent's bonus card. Very, very nice across the board. 2 8s and a 6. So they definitely had the good fortune that we had as well. Kiwi more than certainly delivering there. So big scores on the bonus cards. And yeah, as I say, we needed the big scores on our own bonus cards in order to be fighting against that. So we definitely had that here. But some nice teal plays. I think GoldenEye was a great find for us. Common Swift, even though we used it at the end, that was definitely a strong one for us. So there we go. Very interesting game, I felt. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that one. And we're very, very close to the end of this regular season. Only 3 more games to go. If you want to make sure you're keeping up to date with those, do hit that subscribe button. Do follow along. And I hope to see you in another game very, very soon.